I have my go-to vegan recipe. I've already done the math, so I know how much to split off. The math is in the multi-color batch splitting tutorial. Here's the essential oils. I'm very, very nervous today. This is the first time soaping cold process with the cinnamon essential oil. Last time I did it with you all, it was hot process and I added it after the cook with cinnamon and orange essential oil. So it's just a little bit of cinnamon in there, not much. It's mostly orange, 5-fold, but that cinnamon is super strong. Anyway, cinnamon accelerates trace, or so I've been told. I've never soaped with it cold process. Let's find out if it does. And let's kind of hope it doesn't too much. Everything's cold here. My sodium hydroxide is cold. I'm going to go ahead and add these first. I'm nervous about them, so that might make me forget about them. Alrighty, here we go. Adding the sodium hydroxide. Okay. Let's set that aside. It does seem to be thickening up on me. Let me grab my scale, and to each of these I need to add 276 grams. Yeah, it is definitely thickening up. Controlling the trace in soap is beneficial, whether it accelerates or slows down. You can use that for various benefits for your recipe and design depending on what you're trying to do. Oh yeah, yep, soap on a stick. Oh, I don't think we're going to be able to do any swirling. Oh, this one was with the indigo. Yeah. We got soap on a stick. All right, let's save it. Let's put it in. I'm going to pour it into a mold right now. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Wow. Well, if anyone has never experienced soap on a stick, now you have. You have with me. So no pretty fancy swirly going on for us. Look at this. It's so hard. Now we can try and kind of let it go through this. And I mean, if it can get it to keep heating up, we can have 4 little mini batches of hot processed soap and kind of plop those into our mold. That could be a potential save. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I might end up scraping this whole thing and dumping it into a crock pot. Let's just see if we can keep stirring through. Yeah, no more cinnamon and cold processed soaps for me. This is the same recipe we've been doing these kaleidoscope pours with all month. And heck, even last time we did it, same colorant. So we know for sure this is the cinnamon. Well, let's see if we can encourage some volcano action on these here. Oh my gosh, look at this. Even my little mini spatulas are getting stuck in there. It went so fast. Well, that's kind of fun. I mean, not the fun color event we were hoping to have, but lessons learned all around. Look at this. Oh my gosh, I've never, the only other time I've had soap on a stick like this is when I was using an essential oil that was gifted to me at Christmas time by my mother-in-law. Oh my goodness, was that ever a mess. She sent me some essential oil and I was going to send it back to her inside some soap. Oh my, bad idea. Just threw the soap out. It was no good. Okay, this is starting to loosen up. Remember how thick this one was? Okay, this is loosening up. I'm going to try and keep stirring these, really trying to incorporate any of that extra oil them close together too, that I can. Wow, this just seized up. Look at that. See, I had a right to be nervous about that cinnamon and some cold processed soap. Okay, let's see if we can stir up some of the others. I don't want to, yeah, this one, I don't know if this doesn't melt itself up with some heat here. Definitely going to need to pop that into a crock pot. I think I might do each one individually in a crock pot and then layer them into the mold. I don't know. We'll see what we can figure out. But it is loosening up as it heats. Just be a matter of keeping that heat going. Ooh, let's grab a heating pad. I mean, heck, if we're going to go hot, let's go hot, right? All right, there we go. Just add a little more heat in and around them. Oh, can you see the alkanet turning colors in there? Whoa! Okay, this is loosening up a bit. So what's happening and why it's loosening up is because it's, saponifying. It's just, it's doing its own hot process thing. I'm gonna actually put that on there. Sheesh. Look how chunky that is. That means since my colors were separated, I could end up with light heavy spots on this one. That would make this a potentially hazardous soap. Wow. Okay. So, you know what? Let's do this. So, I just had an idea. Impromptu learning moment here for us. Okay, I used 1:1 sodium hydroxide to lye on this batch. So I have room for lots of extra water in my formulation, especially if this is hot process. I just grabbed this heating pad, but you know what? Let's up our game on that even more. I don't know how well this will work, because I have not impromptu hot processed like this, but learning time for everything. Let's grab, just walking around the camera here to get this plugged in. This is what we're going to do. Not even going to go the route of crock pot. We're going to go full on hot process, heating things up a little more. I can add more water. Let me do some math real quick. So in this batch, I had 143 grams of water. Divide that by 4, that's 35 grams of water in each. If I add another 35 grams of water, I'm about 2-to-1. This is hot process. It's doing funky things. I could probably even go up to 70 grams in each at a 3-to-1 and still be okay. I might end up a little extra soft, but I'll just keep that in mind and add that extra if I need it. Okay. New mold. I'm going to go straight up. I want to grab my other liner on this. Okay. We are going to just use a loaf mold. I'm going to get these bottles all out of my way. I'm going to heat these colors up one at a time, plop them into the mold, and let's see what colors we get. Because we can at least still see our colors. Now, I'm starting with this one first, even though I probably should have started with the lighter color first, but you know what? It's all good. It's all good. It is just all good. We're going to let this heat up, and we're going to add some extra water to it because we can. All right, I do need to keep a good eye. Just toss that into the sink over there. I need to keep a good eye on my temperatures here. Let's get the extra water to add in. Okay. This, I said I could add up to 70. Let's do 50. Let's do an extra 50. I mean, if things are going to accelerate on us, let's just embrace the heat, right? I completely forgot about comments. I apologize. And hi, Kathy. Thanks for popping in. Okay, adding my water. See, super hot on the bottom. Adding water because we can. Let's go ahead and get our heating pad out of the way. Yeah, I think this will work. I'm feeling good about this. And I'm going to just kind of pull out the stick blender and see if we can't get this stuff mushed in. Oh my gosh, look at that alkanet. It's going so lovely purple. Remember that is alkanet and rhubarb in this purple right here. We went past the blue. Don't want to heat up my cords here. Oh yeah, this is looking like a great hot process soap in here. Okay, I have some chunks of the white where you can see it didn't quite mix in yet, so I need to keep going with this. I mean, I'm essentially going to hot process each one of these at a time. See, we're only 134 in there. We can definitely get hotter. Now, if I had more metal pots, we could do more than one color at a time, but I'm not going to worry about that. This is almost kind of like impromptu mini rebatching on the spot. So we are dealing with adding heat and friction, which will add more heat, all to speed up the saponification process that was speeding up on us anyway. I do think someone in the group asked if rhubarb was going to last in hot process, kind of making me wish I had some, I hadn't added the madder root to this so you could see exactly what the rhubarb was going to do in the hot process. But yes, it does last in hot process. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is working quite well. I'll definitely get some color contamination because I'm not going to rinse off my stick blender or the pot in between each batch. Oh yeah, this is doing much better. Gosh, I almost think I want to add that extra 20 grams of water to it. I mean, I usually go pretty high on water for hot process. And since I'm doing it over heat on this kind of open container bit and everything, I know I'm evaporating lots of water. I'm going to do it. I'm going to add my extra 20 grams of water. Okay. Now, we're probably going to be here longer than our half hour. to 45 minutes that I try and keep these two for you. So I do have to hot process each of these, but we're going to have lots of hot process tips. That's a bonus. Okay, so one tip for hot process is don't add cold stuff. Now, I added cold water right at the beginning, and it kind of steamed up off the bottom like that, and that's fine. Hot process can get over 200 degrees. I think we'll start seeing volcanoes around 220-ish. I could, and maybe will, go ahead and put this back on the burner. But what I'm doing here is I had room temperature water. Now I have 150 degree water. That's what I'll add, because it's an additive to something already going on. If I had added cold right away to it after it already heated up, I would just be having, I'd just be cooling down my batter. Okay, let's get this to heat up nicely for us. Oh, have you been watching the one with the alkanet in it? It is so super purple right now. This is hot. This is so hot. It is 150 now. This is the coolest one. It's at 130 in there. So I stirred it up a bit. We could almost knead this. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Yes. So now y'all know what soap on a stick is. Okay. Now this is definitely not the smoothest hot process I've ever seen. If I let this get hotter and go through some volcano in the pot, it would loosen things up a bit. I think I want to go ahead and plop it in the mold though. I think I do. I think I do. Let me see what temperature we're at there. See, yeah, that cooled right back down to about 140. Impromptu lid action. Let's just do that for a minute. And I'll go ahead and measure out. We're going to do that full 70 grams added in there. Let's go ahead and measure that out. Well, that's just warming up a bit. Okay. We'll do that for the next one. But I'm just going to do this for each color. Oh yeah. See how hot it got hotter, so it loosened up more? I'm not seeing any more of the chunks of color separation. Well, I guess it's not color, of separate colors, where we are seeing in here. You can really see them in here. Yeah, we've got a great green. This is like the exact green I was going for. Gosh, that's so funny. But you can see where some of the batter started mixing in with the new oils before it went soap on a stick, and the rest is the uncolored batter. This uncolored batter, those clumps there, those are going to be lye heavy. That is not a good happy soap at all. So we'll just process each one like this and make them happy soaps. Hoorah! Yeah, having the, let's turn it up a smidge. The cellophane on top, saran wrap, it's kind of keeping that moisture, and you see that steam. That's definitely a good call. I'll let this go for another minute. Just really need it to, force heating it up. It'll break up those, the soap that's trying to stay together and not mix in, so that it will mix in with those other oils so we don't have any lye heavy spots. This might be a really awesome save. And if not, that's okay too. We could just rebatch again, do a partial rebatch, or heck, even salt it out. I'm still having super fun with my floating soaps. Did you see the video I did of this floating soaps? It was a snip from last week's live. Oh my gosh, I love them so much. They just float. Almost worth taking a bath, but oh, there we go, there we go, there we go. Okay, let's get this in here. So I'll let you see. I'm literally just going to plop these suckers in here. Now this could be made much more fluid. Could have added sodium lactate. Could have added any milk, any dairy milk product with lactose in it. That always helps with fluidity. Let me grab another. Where's my big flat spatula? There it is. I like to press down with this one. But yeah, anything with lactose in it will help with fluidity. But that would, I don't normally keep milk products just hanging around. So, yeah, that didn't happen. But I could have used some milk as my additional water in these. And this is kind of nice. I have like all the time in the world in between my layers. How cool is that? Oh, the layer math. I got a couple of direct messages about last week's live and how I figured out how much of everything to add. There is a tutorial up on the website that has a math worksheet. And it explains all the math. See, that's a pretty good save, right? I think that's a great save. Let's keep going with this. Let's see if this yellow turns to an orange with some of that rhubarb in there. Oh, let me put my water on. Let's heat that water up. What was I saying? So I'm able to do this because it's not like burn my skin hot. And it is big clumps of soap. So I can just dig in there and scrape that out. And I think that will do it on this one. I just want to get into that little groove at the bottom of it. So while I am here going through my impromptu soap on a stick save, I would like you all to think about your favorite soap on a stick save, whether it was completely awesome, your results at the end, or if it was just something that you just need to look back and laugh at and learn from, and maybe consider sharing it with us. I love it when we get like a theme going in the group. It just really helps others learn, especially fails. Oh my goodness. Your fail is going to give other soapers so much confidence in what they're doing. There we go. Next up. And we'll let that heat up. Let's see, what else do we have going on? Well, we got everything in the pot. The only issues we had was that cinnamon oh my gosh, look at that purple. That is the rhubarb and the alkanet. Oh, to die for. Color in there. Look at that. Oh la la. Loving that. So it's some of the color blending we did in the anti-alkanet masterclass. That was a lot of fun. And we have all those color updates up on the site for you as well. Let's give this a stick blend, try and get some of that water incorporated in there. You know, I'm actually glad I had a bit of the rhubarb kind of left in here because I can't really distinguish the color difference between the annatto and the soap batter. I mean, you can. I think I killed my stick blender. At least this one. I've got another one. One moment. So that annatto is going to, you know, kind of try and fool me into thinking things are blended when it's not. I think the rhubarb and madder root we had in there are going to kind of help with that. Let me grab my other stick blender. Wow, this is just like pulling out all the stops on all the soupy tips, huh? Backup stick blenders are a nice thing to have. You can, I got mine on, it's like a Black Friday sale. And so I ended up basically getting 2 for 1, something along those lines. You can also always pick up stick blenders at thrift stores. And if you see one, I say snag it. Nothing wrong with a backup stick blender. All right, let's look at the temperature on this one. It was about 140 when I poured the other. Yeah, we're still pretty cool in there. But I think we're all blended. Okay, let me give it a stir with a spatula and see. I can always tell better when I'm not dealing with the stick blender. Yes, this is getting whipped. I'm aware of that because it's now basically like a 300 gram little mini batch of hot process. So yeah, air bubbles. But it's hot process. One of the awesome things about hot process is who cares about air bubbles? Y'all know I am not a fan of dealing with air bubbles. I just kind of like, whatever, air bubble away. Okay, I'm sad that the cinnamon accelerated and we didn't get to do our swirl. But I'm kind of excited that we have a real live, oh, snap, what should I do? Because I think this question gets asked a lot and people are wondering, can they save it and what does that mean? And, well, now we can show them, huh? Yeah, I think this is good. I'm not seeing any big chunks of the uncolored batter. I think that's kind of good. So this spatula is great for stirring, not the best for scooping. I like this one with the nice big surface much better. Oh, look at those great colors. Oh, great colors. For scooping and smoothing. If you use the skinnier one, it's just going to take you longer. It's going to be more frustrating. Yes, so also with how much evaporation we had based on how we're doing the hot process on this, you know, we don't have it in our nice slow covered crock pot going on. I think I could have added even more water. Oh, there is a chunk. Dang it. It's okay. Another thing that I can kind of fix if I do have any light heavy spots in this, it's just time. You can also just wait and let time pass by. And as time passes by, the air will neutralize any excess lye. We'll of course do some testing on this. We'll do a little basic pH strip test on this, make sure there's nothing dangerous before someone uses it. I'll probably just make a new hot process for my friend that wanted his special Cinesoap. But this is, I mean, oh my gosh. And we've been watching Alkanet all along the way. Look how pretty. I think I'll put that one on top. Let's get our water heating up. So for those just joining, we were doing a fabulous kaleidoscope pour until we got soap on a stick from the cinnamon. Now, I knew there was a giant risk of it, and I knew we were just going to deal with it, however it happened. This was not on my radar, so we are going through an impromptu, oh my gosh, how do I fix my soap on a stick lesson? And today's wet soap, or maybe Whoop Soap Wednesday. Oh, wow. Wowzy, wowzy, wowzers. This is awesome. Okay. I want to get that a little steamy. We'll go ahead and have that heating up. Let's kind of smush some of this down a little bit more. We did get some great colors though. This will be a really pretty cut. We'll have some nice layers of the colors. And who knows, maybe a stamp will save the day. That's always fun to see too. Kind of wish I had saved a bit of our rhubarb color just on the side, just so we could hold them all up together. But this is fine. You always say there's lessons to be learned from everything you do. You know, keep calm, carry on. Keep calm, soap on. Everyone seems to adapt that, but it's really kind of true. I mean, I think we did kind of stay level-headed and not really freak out. We've got something decent going here, don't we? Okay, 120 here, 120-ish there. Okay, adding. Okay, some steamed off because the bottom was hotter than the top, but that's okay. Okay, steaming for a moment. Now, I am wondering in the back of my head how we're going to scrape all this out, because this did not get stirred up. I was kind of hoping maybe it would even start to volcano, but I'm sure the mass is just too small. It's another thing with hot process. The smallest amount of soap I tend to hot process is a 600 gram batch, because, oh look, we're seeing some of that rhubarb in there with the alkanet. But anyway, a 600 gram batch. The reason being is because you need mass in order to create the heat. I mean, you could just crank your crock pot up, a small crock pot up super high, but then you end up with a lot of water evaporation, which is what we have going on here. But if you have enough mass, and there's a hot process video up on YouTube that I did where we made the last cinnamon soap that really talks about that in more detail. But you need enough mass in order to retain the heat. And this small little 300 gram, it doesn't cut it. Does not cut it. Yeah, it's really stuck. It's definitely softer down at the bottom. Okay, let's take a temp here. Well, the water's heating up. real well down at the bottom. I definitely need to stick blend it to kind of get that water to mix in with everything. Okay, one con to hot process. It's hot. Other than that, hurrah for knowing hot process and being able to deal with our spontaneous hot process lesson to save our soapy soap. Oh my gosh, this is like the perfect green for a cactus. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I mean, I almost want to run outside to the cholla cactus and show you. That's like the exact color. Yeah. This is so thick, it is just making my stick blenders have a conniption fit. Oh my goodness. Look how thick it is. Shame on you, cinnamon. Okay, shame on me for thinking I could go ahead and do the cinnamon with the cold process. I really thought I had just enough to give a scent and not too much to cause the acceleration. Live and learn, though. If anyone does do a cinnamon essential oil cold process without getting soap on a stick, let me know. Now, I could have blended what I could have done, okay, with the cinnamon. So if we want to do cinnamon cold process and we know, we know it's going to soap on a stick on us. Notice we didn't have our issues until, not until I had already split these off, right? So technically I could have poured into a mold. Tried to keep that mold cool so we wouldn't get all sorts of weird, crazy racing and mold volcanoes and stuff like that. I need to smack this down. I'm gonna have to get that purple up in there pretty good. So we could do a cinnamon cold process, one color, make it, trace it, pour it, right? Right away. Pour it right away. That could work. Not what I was wanting to do, though. I think knowing that cinnamon, from experience, knowing that cinnamon's going to do this, I mean, there's only so much you can get by with just being told. Obviously, a lot of times you just got to try it. You always think you can do it better, right? So the learning from your own personal experience, always a bonus. And hopefully by doing this with you this way, this can become your own personal experience. And now you've learned from this right along with me. But yes, anyway, as I say, knowing what we have confirmed with cinnamon essential oil in cold process, I don't think I'd bother. But if anyone does do it, let me know, and let me know what some of your tips and tricks are. So I use 1/2% cinnamon. And that is plenty of cinnamon as far as the aroma goes. And it's obviously also too much cinnamon as far as the acceleration goes. All right, so now what I'm thinking is I'm not going to have enough room in this mold because, see, I made enough extra to deal with on the, when we do the kaleidoscope pull, you end up with some stuck to the bottom of your squeeze bottles and all sorts of, there's just a lot of waste in the process. That's okay. So I just formulated for a bit extra soap. A couple other chunks in the green. Should have let that one cook down a little more. Anyway, it's not all going to fit in my mold now, but I really want that pretty purple on the top. So, I mean, I could do, I'm wondering if I dig down and scoop some out, set it aside, and fill it with the purple that we're going to have in a minute here. Let me check my temps. So now I'm thinking crazy impromptu design options going on, which may be a bad thing, maybe a good thing. Okay. I can add this slowly, 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 slowly. There we go. Okay. Let's put that lid on. Okay. So, or I could just, you know, mound it on top. I mean, we could mound it. I think I might mound it. I think I might mound it. So let's see. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Jordan. I can read backwards too. Brandon and Kathy are still with us. So I think I'm gonna mound it. I think we'll just mound it. Maybe we'll push some of the green kind of to the side, and then make the mounding up on the top look a little more deliberate. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know. I'm gonna pop that chunk out. Okay, let's check our temps and what's going on in here. Okay, we're at 150 in here. So I'm gonna grab my other, before I walk away, I don't want that to cool down. Grabbing another stick blender. Top, only because this one's gunky and I really like the pretty purple. If you notice, I swapped pictures. I got two of these pictures. The other one was gunky, just like the stick blender was gunky, and I wanted to try and save some of the color of this one. Yeah, we just really need to let this melt down nice and slow. Oh. Dang you, cinnamon. Now, this one, I don't need to worry about. This was the first one we poured in, and I was able to blend this one up pretty well. So I don't have as many of the chunks as we had in the others. In fact, I don't think we had any. It was all pretty well incorporated if you rewind and look back. I'm really excited to see what our soup's going to look like. Oh my goodness. I guess we're always excited to see what the soup's going to look like. This one a little more so. Maybe because it's so hot from the hot process. So I got more sweat into it, right? More sweat equity. So the lightening of the color, if you're noticing on this, is from more of the whipping that happened from that stick blender, not because of the heat. Definitely more of whipping air into it. So we'll see if we can't stir some of that out. Maybe. Yeah, we just lost a lot of moisture from that steam popping off. But without going through the process on this, definitely would not have been able to spread this. Okay, this one's being extra clumpy. Let's heat up one. Let's put our little catcher up on there and save that a bit. Well, hi, Sean, for popping in, and to our crazy explosion of hot process impromptu saving cinnamon soap on a stick edition of What Soap Wednesday Live. I do think I want to add just a smidge more of water to this one, just since it's going up top. At least I got some giggles out of this, right? It's going up on top. I want it just a smidge smoother, I think. I don't know. The rustic soap look is always nice, too. All right. Okay, so I super fatted this at... So I had 6% super fat on this, and it's about 15% infused oils. So yeah, it is possible that we've got some lye heavy. I'm just going to have to do a little zap test if I see any of those chunks. And I'm sitting here looking at this green, and as I pull it out, see, almost like I didn't melt it down enough, because they still have some of those hard white chunks in there. Now, that's not white from sodium hydroxide. That is white from the cinnamon soap that seized before it incorporated. Oh, might not need a little extra water. Yeah, I think I do. And I don't know, can you see some of this soap? I'm sorry, some of the steam. Is that coming through? Yeah, I can see some of that steam. It's because I'm being really so sloppy. I'm actually burning off some soap. Every time I pick this up, I put it down on my table that has soap crumbles on it. They stuck to the bottom. It's kind of burning off. Great for ventilation systems, let me tell you. Can you see that? It's kind of wafting. You see it wafting out away from me out to the ventilation system. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm good. I think this looks good like the others. I'm not going to worry about wanting it to be a little extra fluid. Yeah. Let's scoop. Let's scoop and plop. Let's scoop and plop and see how this all goes. So I'm kind of smushing it a bit into the green here. And I'm thinking the top will kind of have, maybe we'll have a little more of a solid divide between that pink and the yellow. Gosh, who knows? But I definitely didn't want just a blob of purple on top. With all that whipping we did, might have even gone more of a lavender on us. We shall see. I mean, it mostly fits in the mold. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous, guys. This is either going to be like next week we're salting this sucker out, or this is going to be like, what? The coolest soap ever. The cinnamon and orange essential oil aroma did come through even after the chaos of last week. All right, so in order to make this pretty, this is what my thoughts are. First, I'm going to just trim off. You see how this edge here, you can see it better that way. See this kind of, the purple top kind of oozed over the edge of the mold. So I'm just running this over just so it's flat. So not, you won't see much difference because this is such a mess, but I am confident these are going to look amazing by the time we're done. And if not, I'm not worried about it because, one, it smells great. It will soak great. And if I was worried about anything chemically wrong with it, so anything more than a cosmetic issue, then I could, salt it out. Okay, so this is just my super snazzy, super cheap potato peeler. It was probably 25 cents at a thrift store. This little guy here, this is my pica pole, left over from my days as a graphic designer. I love this thing. What I love about it is it has these little edgy nook things, so like you put it on the edge so you know exactly where you are when you go to measure. So this loaf is just over 10 inches. It's about 10 and a quarter actually. Anyway, what my thoughts are, I really don't like the roughy bumpy, and especially right here, this little where the layers, I mean, they're not separated, but the soap didn't make it down there. It's kind of like an air pocket on the side in between layers. So I think I want to shave my sides off, I think. Now I don't know, because once I kind of scraped that off, you know what I do? I want to just trim the sides off, which brings me to this. This is called the Caterpillar, and you can do some cool things with it. I've had it for a few months, so I haven't used it much because this started rusting on me, and I was risking rust all over my soap. It was kind of a mess, but Alex over at Custom Craft Tools sent me replacement pieces that were for sure stainless steel. So this should be a snazzy little tool now. Anyway, you can, with this, put this in here. No, if you go from the bottom, okay, it's been a while because I haven't. If you go from the bottom and do it like this at whatever your measurement is, you can use it as a loaf slicer that way. You can also take this off, and then over on this side, it comes with a little bitty ruler, which I thought I had out. One moment, please. Yeah, here it is. It's on the dish rack drying. What you can do is you slide this little guy in here, and then that gives you your basic measurements, and you can use it as a single bar. Chop, chop like that. So I have individual tools that'll do all that. What I wanted this for was because I'm going to leave this up top because I don't want to lift it up and down. But if you look at these teeth, I can put this all the way down at the bottom, and I can shave off a 1/16 of an inch. And I didn't have a tool that would do that really well. So I got this. That was my main motivation. It comes with a little piece of plastic to use to slide, but I don't know where mine is. I'm not going to bother with it. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I'm tight enough here on my tension. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for popping in. Okay, so I'm just going to slide, and I should be able to just shave off just the edge of that, and looky there. Oh, how cool was that, right? Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, and I'm very glad I did that. It looks much better. Okay, I noticed some little specks here. You see those white specks? If you look back on last week's live, if it's white, it means it didn't get the extra oil added to it because the extra oils were colored. I'm definitely going to want to zap test that. That is not a lye spot. That is a white soap spot. But that white soap might be lye heavy. We'll have to do a zap test on it to see. But I'm going to go ahead and shave my other side off here. And I think I'm going to shave my two ends off as well. Oh, that's really cool. Look how thin that is. Paper thin. Paper soap. Oh, but see how much prettier that looks already? It's really a pretty, it's almost like a mountain, like landscape going here. Ooh. Now I gotta consider how I want to cut it. Okay, let's go ahead and shave these off. Oh, I can't shave those off with my boop. I'll bump into it, which is why you put this at the bottom. Okay. Going back to the way it was designed to be used, which you go from this side, because that's the shorter side. Yeah. As Kandra demos something that she hardly ever uses, but I will use it more. Okay, there we go. So, there. Now it's at the bottom and your handle is no longer in your way. Okay, so I did that so I can just shave off these edges. I just wanted that same 1/16 of an inch. Now, see how much prettier and smoother that is than our wonky pressed up against the sides of the mold? Basically, this was started out as a cold process. We had a last minute hot process it in order to save it. And I mean, overall, we did great. I mean, look how smooth our soap is. I mean, this is great. With the exception of my little white spots, you can go back and watch the video and see how all that happened. Okay, so next up, if I can get this sucker out of here. Now, I was thinking I should chop this way because I like those mountains and then slice this way, but I think I still see the mountains this way. So I'm happy with that. What I'm going to do is flip my sucker around. A lot of flipping around on these. I wasn't sure if I was a huge fan of kind of a one thing to do it all. Remember back in the day when they first came out with those big old, it's one machine, it'll print, it'll fax, it'll scan, it'll do all this stuff, and it didn't do anything really well. I think I'm still, subconsciously thinking, yeah, it's not going to do anything really well, but it really does. It takes a little bit of getting used to. It's because, I think anything takes getting used to if it does more than one thing. So, yeah, let's go ahead and start cutting. I'm just going to cut these at 1 inch. Oh, yeah. I think this is a great save. I mean, considering everything we went through, what a great save. I did add way too much water when I was hot processing it. I mean, I used the same amount I do for regular hot process, but it was, it didn't cook as long as a regular hot process. So most of this water did not evaporate in the cook. It will have to evaporate as it cures. So it will still be a little bit soft when we stamp it, and I did want to stamp it. Since it is so soft, though, I am not going to bevel the edges on it because that'll just smush things around. But we can do some stamping, even if it is soft. Oh, look at this. These are coming out great. They have a very mountain-esque look to them, which is super duper because I'm in Tucson, and these are for a local custom order. Pretty lucky to be able to make soap that I know it's going to go to a good home, and at the same time have all the freedom to experiment with it and know it'll be loved even though it's mistaken. There was something wrong with it, meaning it didn't come out exactly as we had hoped. I think I might just leave this one a little chunky. Nah, I'll trim it. Okay. And I'm going to trim that side off. No, I'm going to trim it like this. Yes, I am undecided. Okay, so let me line that up. Scooch it out a little more. Okay, here we go. I do like my little cutter tool here. The shaving, the edges, that was so cool, right? Oh my gosh. This was super cool. All right, so this is a custom order. And when I do custom orders, I give them everything, absolutely everything, including all these scraps. If I have overpour in the mold from a custom order and I put them into my little bitty baby molds that I would normally save for embeds, I'll send those as well. Everyone thinks it's a super awesome little like extra bonus. I'm like, yeah, I just don't want to keep all this soap around. The reason why I'm kind of breaking this up and doing this with it, because I mean, right, how are you going to give someone this? What? Let me show you. This is what I've been doing with them. Soap sack. I just shove it in here, and then customer super happy. They get a soap sack filled with soapy scraps. And when I send my custom soap orders out, just shove it on in there. They're not cured yet, so there's still some cure time. So the soap is completely safe to use, but it's not cured. And I explain all that in a letter, you know, kind of like the order notes, how to cure, what to do when you get your soap. Well, guess what? Who cares how long this lasts, right? I do let them know that they could, if they want to go ahead and start washing and not wait for the cure, use their scraps. They know they're not going to last as long, but who expects them to? It's scraps, and it comes in a super fun soapy scrap sack. So yay, this goes with the order. And look, now I don't have any soap shards to deal with. Hoorah! Okay, yay. Oh, I got these, Chris Howells. He says he's ordering more in. He's out, but he's definitely ordering more in, and I can only see some of your comments because I have this set up. Okay, better. So you can get these from Chris Howells. I do not remember the cost on them. All right, let's go ahead and deal with our stamps. Oh, we needed to zap test. Okay. Have you all seen my video, my little reel on how to zap test? And I will do it all for you now. Do not, do not lick your soap. No, yuck. No one wants to lick soap. This is how you do a zap test. You get some water and you get your finger wet. Then you rub it on the soap. And I'm trying to rub on this one little spot there. And if this zaps and it's dangerous, you're going to know. So it'll be like it'll zap. So it's called the zap test. Okay, so remember, I'm not licking my soap. I'm going to lick my finger. I'm always scared to do it because my dad used to trick me into testing 9-volt batteries when I was a kid. So it's kind of like, okay, here you go. Wow, tastes like orange, cinnamon, and soap. Yeah. And what I just did off screen was I washed my mouth out because I did not swear that many times today. I did not need to keep soap in my mouth. Okay, that's a zap test, and notice the soap, it is wet, but I did not lick it. My spit is not on this soap. It's just some water that's on the soap. That's fine, and it's not lye heavy. So I did not necessarily expect it to be lye heavy. I just wanted to double check because I know for sure that white spot does not have as much super fat as the rest of it. Let's look at the colors because that's mainly what we do here over at Soapy Friends in the Natural Soap Color Group is deal with colors. I'm pretty okay with the colors considering everything it went through. I am a bit upset with how my top layer here looks more brown, and I will definitely take some photos outside in a light box for you. It's nice and purpley pink up top, but it definitely looks, you know, kind of cooked in the cut. The green is great. That's a great green. It's exactly what I was going for. Because remember, I was trying to get kind of like that grayish, bluey tinted green of a cactus. I mean, it's a really interesting green. It's definitely not grass green. It's not gray. It's definitely green, but you know, it's cactus green. I do think I nailed that. Love that. Orange, yellow, the sunshine color. Love it. That was supposed to be the pestles of the flower. And I knew I would not hit that amazing magenta that is the amazing color of the cholla cactus flower that I was going for. It's an okay color. It's, you know, it's okay. I don't do a lot with animal products. I'm mostly a vegan soaper. I'm not opposed to bugs, though. I might go the buggy route on this if I try again. Overall, though, I'm pretty pleased, especially considering everything the soap went through. So let's make them look just a little more fun. Let me grab some saran wrap because we're going to stamp them. I'm at the end of the roll. I know I'm doing this off. Hi, I'm over here pulling saran wrap out. And the reason why you need some saran wrap or something, if you have a thin muslin sheet, you can use that as well. Muslin is thin enough to where it won't interfere with the stamp details. I can zoom in for you all a bit too. I had my camera reset. Let me zoom in so you can see a little more of what I'm doing. Get my ugly towel out of the way. There we go. And I will do it over here where there's less glare for you too. Look at that. Okay, so anyway, what the saran wrap is going to do is going to keep the soap away from your stamp. The reason why that's important is because if I just stamp into the soap, I'm going to pick up all of soap inside all of the indentations in the stamp. And then it's a mess. You have to clean your stamp out in between each one. The reason why I'm putting a flower on these is because they were inspired by the cholla flower. I need to go get some desert stamps. I think it's a must. I think I have to go buy stamps. Because, you know, we all need more soapy stamps. All right, so this is really soft, so I'm not going to press very hard. And I guess maybe we'll put it in the yellow. I'll try and put it between the yellow and the red. I don't want to stamp too close to the edge because that'll indent your soap. And if you press too hard, you're going to smush your soap. You have to remember when you're stamping, everything that's raised on your stamp is going to be displaced. So it will be pushed into or out of your soap. If you press really hard, your soap will bow out because the soap that you displaced has to go somewhere. You don't notice it so much on thinner lines. If I was stamping with the heart, which I have done, you definitely want your soap to be much firmer when you're stamping something this wide because it will displace a lot. And I have had like a big old whoop, you know, big old push of soap busting out the side that you almost need to shave off. I do like thinner lines, not too thin so they don't work, but this works really well. It displaces just a small amount of soap. It gives you a pretty design, and it doesn't distort the sides of your soap. Anyway, with all that said, I'm going to stamp it. Boop. Itty bitty little stamp. Oh, not near enough. Okay, double stamping. Pressing a little harder and wiggling a little bit. Okay, I'll do a little more for a feel. See? And I didn't press hard enough again. Well, gosh darn it. Okay, I'm going to put my hands on the side so that it won't push the sides out, and I'm going to press in a little more. Just a little more pressure. See, I'm really not sure how much because the soap is so soft. Oh, there we go. And it's, I stamped over it a bunch, so. We're going to set this one aside over here so you can still see it. I'll get rid of the weird licking water jar. Okay, let's try again. And let's see if it'll work. See, it's nice and soft, But your soap can be too soft too. Oh no, that one worked really well. Can you see it on the camera? Yay, pretty little flower. Oh, that's cute. I like it. And it looks kind of choya flower-ish.